Do you think I need to go and paint that yellow BR, bruv?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, ArmsHouse to Your Mum's House, episode 134. We've got our esteemed guest, maybe even a controversial guest.
That sounds like I've been cancelled for being racist or something.
Nah. We got Big Trapy in the house, man. Here we are in West London, yet again, enjoying the sunshine. We may change location in a bit, but big up, Trap Touch, man. Thank you for joining us, man. Big theme in the house. Please.
Both of us?
Yo, I've heard bits and bobs of your history. Can you break down, when did you get into Graff and how?
As a young boy.
We got quite a bit of background noise this episode, but I know you guys love it.
Can I take the blood clot?
So you two are taking turns in talking?
No. Yeah, we'll just swap it over.
Nice.
Have you always been West?
Yeah. Well, no, actually.
The oranges of Trappy West.
The oranges?
The origins.
The origins, yeah.
Yeah, the West.
Yeah.
Have you always written trap?
No. No, I used to write other things before. I think young teenage boy, I got an ASBO for it. And then I think I got that.
What, for the different reach?
Yeah.
Yeah. But how comes I didn't know you? What ends? Like I don't know what info you want to give away. If you're happy to give away, but how old are you?
What, my mum's house?
No, how old are you? No,
no.
when I'm speaking to you about that, Jordan, is this conversation being recorded? Bro?
What's your fucking home address?
Easy. How you doing? We're filming something. Yeah, we're having a nice time. My man.
Well, that's such a sincere question. Man said, "Are you having a nice time?"
He's out. He's gone through.
Yeah.
How old are you, brother? Mid-30s, late 30s, early mid-30s.
Yeah.
And I'm 43. Because I've been West the whole time. And then for me, it's all of a sudden there was this Trappy around, but it was up straight away, like Bosch, with the street bombing and the throw up thing around the way.
That come after doing the Instagram and making it business. Like I wasn't trying to write Trappy.
You was just trapping.
I was writing Traphouse.
I was
writing my fucking handle.
I was just trapping.
But I was writing what I was operating under.
Yeah.
So that made sense.
Yeah, it made
Especially,
sense.
do you know how many shouts I get off of this? Off a Graff?
Really?
They see the Graff, then they find the website or they find the socials, and then either get a tattoo or they buy a product.
Yeah. Nice. So how long have you been writing trap?
They'll be coming up to the 10-year anniversary March next year.
Who did you come up under?
What's that mean?
Like, who was you getting schooled by?
Yeah, no.
What does that mean?
Under?
Yeah, who was you doing Graff with back in the day? I'm trying to
Like
picture.
my pals.
Okay.
So there wasn't any elders that you knew that kind of schooled you on a few things? That's what you mean by under?
Not that, like... Nah, no one was helpful.
No,
Do you know what I mean?
it's true.
It was,
no
it
one
was
is
older
helpful about
generations,
it.
all the DT lot, the CH and all these, they were like, I'm talking like that borough, Richmond borough.
Yeah.
Bres like Lame and
Yeah,
Spell
yeah.
and Lose and all these bres.
Nice.
Nah, they didn't show us nothing. If anything, they weren't even that nice. Do you know what I mean?
No, I get it.
That's how it was. That is how, that's what I'm saying. So that kind of borough around there. All right, because I did, like, for me that was a lot of from around there, like GFS and FLS and all SB. Wherever that shit was around there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If anything, someone that's older than me and that was actually helpful would be Brez at Ben's. Brez, like here.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Who were you looking up to then when you were first starting out? Then was it all them?
Well, who the coolest Brez in Graff to me were?
Yeah, you were
Koza and Zombie.
Koza and Zombie.
Yeah.
Koza and Zombie. Yeah.
Those were the two like.
Those were the coolest breads. I love the way you said it. Who was the coolest breads?
Yeah.
Those were the coolest breads in Graff.
Yeah. Because it's a myth, isn't it? You just see it. You don't understand.
Yeah, it used to be a myth. Everything used to be. That's what was much more fun and exciting and magical about it.
Yeah.
I didn't know who Koza and Zombie were for
time.
about a decade, maybe more. You know what I mean?
I was chatting to my pal Betts. He's someone that I shared Graff with as a kid. Do you know what I mean? Obviously he's done his thing, whatever. But when we grew up and we're talking about Graff and like how it was, the interactions that you'd meet out there with Brez, it was always like a
awful.
Yeah, who could you rob?
Yeah.
What kind of name do they have?
Who's more of a bad man than the other person? And when we first meet, you're like, right, we're going to have to size up each other's bad madness right now. And I've heard things about you, and you might be a bad man. So am I going to be like extra bad man because I've heard he's a bit of a bad man?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then the legend spreads that way.
And you always meet like some down, you know, the like long alleyway and it's the Gunnersbury Station and you're on your J's, you're like, oh, fucking hell. This is going to be it, bruv. But yeah, you're right. Do those things on your teeth, do they come off?
Well, you fucking want them.
No. But
See
they're
how
not
much you can
permanent.
get from 'em.
Do you go around to your missus' yard with them?
Couple of these are permanent.
Couple of them, the ones at the back.
Yeah.
See it there, the ones at the back, try and blag it.
Jesus. Trying to get me lined up for my teeth.
His pocket is worth about $5. Get him lined up for his dentures, bro.
Yeah, that's always the question. Is like, did they come out? It's like, what? What do you want them? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you need to brush your real teeth, man.
Where do I get them from? Do I have to go and get my teeth molded?
That's exactly it. Yeah. Yeah. Hatton Gardens, good place.
And then I choose what I want, like white gold, diamonds, whatever on it.
Yeah, gold.
Gold, white
Yellow
gold, rose gold. Yeah, yellow gold.
Yeah,
you can't say yellow anymore. It's too racist. You know what I mean? It's true. It's true.
What about Indian gold?
You definitely can't say that. Even though it's better. You can't say that.
Well, they mix it with different alloys to get a different colour. The
Really?
Italians, the British, and the Indian, three like different colour variations. If you see like
Indian gold's always mad yellow.
yeah, the carrot represents like the actual gold content, and the rest will be other alloys to like bind it and make it hard, so they can manipulate it into jewelry or whatever. And depending on what colours of materials, the British for some reason like a greeny dull colour, so all like 9 carat British made
everything's
things.
9 carat. Dog shit.
Yeah, but it's like the colour they like, whereas the Indian one.
In Italy, it's like 18's like the usual, like the minimum.
But I'm just talking about colour, just colour alone. The Indians, even if it's 9 carat, they want it to shine like bright.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is don't be fooled if you see something that's like light coloured. It's not got a higher gold content. It's the other alloys and materials mixed in with it that are giving it that colour. For example, like the difference between like the rose gold, white gold and gold is just the other alloy mixed with it. I think to get rose gold is brass.
Probably.
Yeah, it's just like a little bit of brass.
Couple of brasses, do you know what I mean?
Brass.
Couple of brasses, fling them in, and everything gets a little bit better. That's usually the way, bruv. That's how it works.
Would you get gold teeth? Would
Yeah,
you ever get?
I'm gonna go tomorrow and get some. How much do I need to spend to get like can I get like 2?
2?
Can I?
Yeah,
Or do I have
depends
to
what you
get
want
1?
to do.
I always wanted one. I always wanted to get one.
It's better if as
Hey, listen,
as
sign
just
up to the Patreon, yeah, so I can get myself a full set.
fun.
A full set. 32 diamond and gold teeth with AHC on the front bit. So look, can I do that? Can I go there tomorrow and just get like one of the fangs done?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can obviously, but it's always best to do 2 because the way that grills works is it's holding on by grip. Pause.
Yeah, but like it's molded to the shape. You've not got anything like sticking it to. You don't have to redo it every time you want to wear it, do you?
No,
you
but
just clip it on.
It's the pressure of, like.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get it.
You get what I mean?
Squeezes it together a bit more.
Yeah, so one individual thing, more time you'd have to like glue it in a semi-permanent like denture glue or something like that.
The permanent ones, they get rid of your teeth and they literally.
Yeah, that's what I got back there.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. I lost one abusing the sugar. I had a small cavity and I was just fobbing off the dentist for so long.
And they took out the whole fucking tooth. And you put a goldage.
Only
Has anyone tried to rob you at gunpoint for your teeth? Look, never, ever. It's a lot of teeth.
But what's it worth in scrap, and what's it worth like? If we're gonna get into jewels and things like this, yeah, the actual value of a diamond is just what you believe it is.
Yeah, tell that to the new girls. You see, you can get like diamonds just man-made now.
Yeah.
And so many people don't want them.
Yeah.
But they are exactly the same thing. They're made under pressure. Bosh. Yeah. That's it. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
They just haven't had some little
CVD lab-grown things.
I need at least 12 Africans to die for my diamonds.
Like, the bears will tell you that, like,
Jesus Christ! Sorry about that, ArmsHouse.
I think their whole like pitch is that you want your diamond to be as unique as you are, because of all the ways that the earth shapes it, whereas the lab is just going to make it perfect. But also the other thing, when it comes to jewels, it's a lot more about the cut and how it reflects light than it is about the quality of stone. You can get a higher quality stone with a bad cut that looks dull and doesn't reflect light. And then you can get a low quality stone that's been cut well that fucking catches the light and blings crazy. Do you know what I mean?
Trapy, you've always been quite a ostentatious dude.
Yeah, what you was doing with your arms then? Just I'm a fat cunt. You've always been quite.
No, I mean
ever since I've known you.
Ostentatious.
There's this fucking size about you.
You know, like maybe even flashy, I would say. You know what I mean?
Okay.
To a certain degree, like you take a pride in your appearance, and you know, well, maybe not today with the sliders,
today, yeah, chilling. But yeah. No, I hear you.
But like, does that lead to any kind of pushback from that? Have you ever had that from people, or has there ever been a problem or anything? I don't think it has, but
pushback in what, like?
I don't know.
What do you
people
imagine?
Thinking, oh, look at this fucking dude. He thinks he's all that.
That's exactly what I think in my head.
Yeah. Okay.
When
well,
I leave my house, I think I'm sick. I look
Okay.
at myself and I think, yeah, that is sick. I'm sick. But that, like, if you want to get like deep and introspective and whatnot,
yeah,
like
That's brilliant answer. That's the answer.
Yeah.
That's a confident, good answer, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Is that
Otherwise,
you
what are you
think
doing? If I said anything else, I'm lying. But also, like, to give the rest of it, that comes from an insecurity of being poor. I've been extremely poor. I've seen my, like, young age being poor and being the poorest out of poor people and feeling like, oh, I would like a name brand thing.
Yeah.
I remember, like, for a long time, in the era when it was cool to have an Avrex,
Yeah.
I didn't have one.
yeah.
Academics, I didn't have it. Some flash fucking Nike trainers, I didn't have it. Do you know what I mean? So I know that that's why in my head I want to have these things, because it's almost like a validation for myself to know that I've set myself a goal to have that, and now I have that. Now I have a wardrobe full of it, and now, like, I guess, like, we're bleeding out from when I used to value things like that to like where we're at today. I've still retained lots of material possessions, but my mindset has changed since.
Because I've seen you write about that, saying how you aren't worth what your material goods are. Your worth is in your self-respect. You know what I mean? That's where you get your proper wealth from.
Yeah, it's your
ultimately.
actions that define you.
Yeah.
That's who you are.
But it's nice to have material things at the end of the day. And it's nice to be able to afford them and shit.
One thing I'm not having is bears that don't have it, haven't ever had it, don't have the capability of getting it, that try to put it down. Like, oh, why would you want an expensive kettle or an expensive this and that? It's like, all right, brother, if you're like limited ambition and limited earning capacity and you want to shit, because that's essentially, if we're going to get into something that's more like spread out across other subjects and things, what people do is they villainize everyone else and try and make it sound shit because they can't get it or they don't have it.
Yeah.
Same with, like, especially with Graff. That's what happens. If I start seeing someone up, my ego that feels like a little like, oh, well, someone's obviously fucking shown him that plot. Someone's given it to him. Because no one ever wants to be like, he's probably on it more than me.
He done it on his J.
Yeah.
Scoped it, he did a lot.
He's putting more graft than me.
But even just the fact that me and Theme put on a camera every week and speak into a camera, into a microphone, and like let our feelings be known and our opinions and shit. There are people out there watching, going, "Who the fuck do these guys think they are doing that?"
So much.
Yeah, but
They think they're
every
so
Sunday,
big. They think they're so bad. We don't. You know what I mean? We just do this.
I never even heard of Steve.
But what would you want? Would you want to please every single person?
Exactly.
What I was going to say is, think about it in terms of football. Every Sunday, the pub fills with loads of men that are like, he's shit, he's this and that. But you're in the pub, you're a punter. I'm a player.
Yeah.
I'm on the pitch. If it comes to the Premier League of this thing, I may not be the most up-bred, but I definitely reckon I'm the sickest.
Yeah.
I reckon I'm sick. I rate what I do. I have a good time. All of these things.
Talking about the sports thing, is that Bill Burr or someone, one of those comedians, they said they shouldn't do football tops in XL or double XL. They're like, they should only fit the football players.
Is that another dig at me being fat again?
I'm sort of halfway through.
He's just crowbarring these in all
Only
day.
halfway through, I'll say that.
Cheers, mate.
So when you're shopping at large and no, I'm just fucking around. But now going back to your beginnings, man, and like kind of your motivations to do Graff. Was it part of this thing? You're saying how you grew up with not much, and you're like, okay, this is a way to get my name.
It wasn't that thought out. I guess you would have some form of like, I feel small in this world that's not built for me. Do you know what I mean? But it's more of a cultural thing. Like growing up, I remember the first like seeing Graff in my neighborhood, seeing Graff, and then going to the park like after school with my little primary school uniform.
I bet you could draw.
No, I've never been good.
Okay.
Drawing.
No, I just do it. I've done it more. That's where I'm at.
That way.
Yeah, but I can't like do some technical, like 3D shady.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, see, like art people don't fuck with me. I didn't go to no art school. I didn't. Do you know what I mean? I don't know nothing about nothing. I'm just doing as I'm doing.
But that's the beauty of Graff, was because it was invented by kids. It's so accessible. If you learn the basics, you can start making a name for yourself as long as you kind of
the entry point to Graff is your own ambition.
Yeah.
All it takes is you deciding, I'm going to do it. You could get a rock and scratch a window.
Yeah.
The entry point is your decision. It's not like if I want to be a Premier League footballer, I have to go train, practice, trials, get accepted by people way before I ever get on the pitch. But you could be a Premier League player in Graff if you put in the graft. Do you know what I mean? But if we're talking about back in the day, and we're talking about like coming up, if you was building a name, you would be bruising other people's egos that would regulate it.
Yeah.
That's why if you was like a bit of a neek, if you was, not even that, there's certain brands that come from like harsh conditions that should be like rough and tough.
Brolic.
But they're half a pussy and they will get violated because of it. Because other egos that are more threatened by that bread getting up or da-da-da. I just remember Graff being a lot more like you had to be about it. Yeah, you had to be about it and you had to defend it. Res do want to scrap you. That's going to happen. Now it's gay.
Now it's changed.
Yeah.
You were going to get problems if you did Graff.
Yeah.
For sure. It's much more territorial back in the day. It was a lot more, ego-driven and fucking...
Is that what he just said? That's exactly what happened with me and Cheat and that guy. Because he was on the come-up and we thought, that's just our territory, do you know what I mean? And started weighing each other in.
Yeah, and then you look back 20 years later and you're like, what the fuck, kind of thing.
Well, when you the younger you are, the more narrow your perspective is.
Exactly.
As you grow, as you see more, as you see how large it is, I realised that, cool, like there may be like a generational gap, there may be like geographic, whatever it may be, but we have a shared interest in common. That means like, really, there's not a lot of graffers, especially when it comes to like our thing, London. There's not a lot. There's loads of people that come from other places to here.
That's true.
To be part of it because of what it is. But there's not a lot of players involved. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of like, whatever, I can't even read what that is. There's loads of toys, but they'll come and go. Yeah. Certain people stick to it, and you can tell over time. You can tell who's going to stick to it, who's going to fizzle out, who never been bagged before in their life. They get nicked one time and they're like, oh,
And
fuck
they're
that.
done. Yeah,
Fuck that.
yeah.
I can't bring that kind of drama on my life. And
Yeah.
they go the straight and narrow.
Yeah. Yeah. And also now...
All whilst, there's them sort of people, all whilst they've been saying, I'm in this for life.
Yeah, yeah, of
I'm in
course,
this for
of course,
life. Watch
of
how me represent it properly, where
Yeah.
And a lot of
I've made
people...
songs about that. I've made songs about that.
Okay, what do you think about writers who might have done that thing for a little while,
Right.
but then they drop the graph thing and they go into the art world? Because I know
Straight up.
you like with your tattoos and stuff, you've used some of the skills from... Actually, no, wait, I was going to ask you as well, like kind of the link between graffiti and tattooing. I know they're similar in many ways, but they're
The link
obviously-
is me. I am the thing.
Okay.
Like, it all stems from... I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I've not thought out, like, I am just... Everything all comes from me, and I'm just trying to make money.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, like, okay, for example, graph being somewhat of an outsider art, it's called, where you don't have to go to art school.
But this is the thing. I'm not trying to suck dick or some gallery
No.
fucking nerd and be like, oh, I beg you put my stuff on display and try to sell it for dough.
Yeah.
My thing's direct to the shouts.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with fans of mine that fuck with me and they want to buy a print, a pair of socks, a t-shirt, whatever it is that I make, whatever it is that I do, because they fuck with me. And not because of I do graph or I do podcasting or I do tattoos. It's because it's me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the same decision comes to mind. If you man invite me for a dinner, I'm not calculating whether I go on that dinner based on your Instagram followers or your latest podcast content. It's you overall as a person.
Yeah.
You've never done anything to offend me.
Yeah.
We've always cracked joke when we're together.
Yeah.
So I'm basing my decision on, I'll come to that.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
If we invited you to dinner, would you wear your grills? Would you wear your grills? Would you? And I'll invite you.
You're working, man. You're getting money, man. Just getting all schemy and that.
Innit, Jesus. Fucking. Now you're saying like the link, like there's bold lines being used in graph, which you use, which then translate into tattoo. But anyway, you've made your point, man. Yeah, it's you and you doing your thing.
Yeah.
And fuck it.
Can I ask him? Of course. Can we talk about graph? If I say something,
Talk about graph.
and you don't like,
This whole time, you've just been pacing, just waiting. Wow. Can we talk about graph?
no, I wanted to ask you. I was going to say, like, if I say something you don't want, we just edit it out. So don't worry. But you see, those whole cars you're doing like, abroad somewhere.
Okay.
Where are you doing them? Why don't you invite me?
question's bare federal.
Where
are you? What's the
country?
location?
What country?
Yeah.
Like
I geotagged
Bulgaria,
them anyway. What are you gonna do, bro?
Romania, Italy.
Nah.
You are always around Eastern Europe and stuff like that. You got
I
connections.
am Serbian.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because last time we linked you, that's where you like the next day you were going. We did your thing, opposite those dubs, and and you were going to Serbia the next day, but you didn't know when you were coming back. And then I saw on your Instagram you'd done loads of trains.
You're asking me a question about multiple different trips, and every place that I've been, I have made connections before, either through having big Instagram before or whatever, or what people see now, or through friendships. There's sometimes I'll rock up to a place and there'll be just a random Instagram follower that's a writer or something like that that just wants to link up for the love of it. Like, yo man, you're in my city, I fuck with what you're doing, da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then half the time it will be like through an actual friend that's a writer, that's a da-da-da.
But okay, to be more specific, 2 questions. What's your favorite country or city to paint in, not London?
Right.
And what's the difference between London and that spot?
As soon as I go abroad, I think everyone is silly. And I don't rate your law, I don't rate nothing about anything.
You don't respect none of that shit.
Yeah, it's all ridiculous.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't think I'd have it. I don't think a foreign copper could nick me. I wouldn't have it. Get your hands off me. Do you know what I mean? I'll slap him with my passport.
With the British passport, I was going to say, No, I feel that same way too. You kind of get a little bit brash, but that can lead to bad things sometimes. But then with that attitude.
We come from this Big Brother, mad fucking cameras everywhere.
Crazy.
You can get bagged for something.
Not getting nicked in Amsterdam, yeah.
Yeah.
Out like double-decker yellow BR.
I'm saying compared to here, but compared to London, where we're so like we're being filmed 300 times, just walking half an hour, you've already been caught. Yeah.
But for when you think about and what may be valuable to people, I don't know, whatever. But you got to think about what's manned, like
Yeah, actually,
what's
people watching.
operated,
operated.
and then what's like retro, like they're going to see that their shit's been graphed, then go back to the cameras and look. Majority of cameras that you see are like that, and especially when you go into Europe, it's like that.
Yeah.
Because of the nature of how London operates, there is a lot more people being paid to watch them cameras. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so there's more quicker response and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What is your throw up? Is it the T and then the star, or is it? How did it start?
It's trap star, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so it's the
That's what I'm
T
saying,
star.
but sometimes you just do a T. You don't do the star. Sometimes you just do the star.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask.
What is it?
No, what it was.
What inspired
was it the
that?
Trap star? Was it T and star?
Yeah, it was
That's
bad.
what
It was bad. Like this is going to. I don't know how many years ago, but whatever. Obviously, Lord's my pal. Like I've been writing with him
Shout
a lot.
out Lordy.
Yeah, Lordy's the boy. But we was doing loads of graph, and my thing that I like colours. I like chrome and black is fun, cool. I do enjoy them times as well.
That's a very big.
But I like colours. Do you know what I mean? And I like taking my time. I'm not da-da-da. And I never had like a decent throw up. But old tag, I used to have like a. Oh, how'd it go?
On the tag.
No, my throw up. I'm doing it in the air. I don't know if you
Yeah, I
caught that.
couldn't see that reverse fucking angle as well, bruv.
Yeah, but whatever. The fucking I never got into throw up culture. Do you know what I mean? My pals and all that was like there'll be a dub plot and it's about the mission and fucking doing tags and all that on the streets on the way to it or whatever. You go do a little John Wayne and you do your scheme and that, and you maybe try match with the boys and there's an idea behind it. But to go out and just do like a light feel dusty and then the outline dark and then just keep rinsing until you've now got more dark, less light, so now you've got to switch over and do dark fills, light outline, and it's like a tactical thing, and then really you're getting more coverage. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going back to it, so it's Lord, and then going out with Lord and Oka, that's his pal. And then that's all them two were doing, and I didn't have a throw up. So the first night that I go out with these man, I want to stop and spend half hour on a fucking, I want to try to get flexy. Do you know what I mean? That's what excites me. And these man, boom, 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 done their thing, 30 seconds it's done, and they've taken up a whole shutter between the two of them. Done.
What, with throwies or with?
Yeah, just one throw up each,
yeah.
back to back, and they just machine gun it. Boom, 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 tag, fucking throw up, and they'll batter it, and they'll cover like, especially if you've got a motor, you're up, one night you're up. You can do east one night, north one night. By the end of the week you're up, and you've hammered it, and your paint's gone further. Especially if do you know what I mean, if you're putting the readies out on the paint and you're not racking it, because there was a period of time, obviously I started racking, that was the thing, and then it got to the point it was all right, cool, we'll rack the fills and then pay for the paint, and then
pay for the outline and
yeah,
because that's what we want it to be nice.
And then fucking it gets to the point where like I've got the readies, I can't be nicked shoplifting. I'll pay for the paint.
After a while, it was like, okay, there's one thing getting nicked for criminal damage and all that, and going to court for that. I didn't mind so much doing that because I knew, whatever. But yeah, getting caught for shoplifting, for stealing on your record, it's not worth it for the long run.
I don't have any type of theft on my record.
I was going to say as well, like, because you did a lot of fucking bombing, and you mentioned Lordy, obviously.
A lot of what?
Salute, a lot of bombing. But you mentioned as well Oka, you know what I mean? I know we're going to get some fucking messages from people just for even mentioning
Loads
that
of people
dude's
hate
name.
that, bro.
Lots of people fucking hate him. But like, because I remember I was asking on the Instagram, who was your favorite throw-ups and stuff, and obviously his name came up. It can't not
He's
come up.
undeniably sick at Graff, style king, and has hurt it hard. Whether you agree with his personal thing, there's loads of writers today that are up and and they're gay. They're
I don't think he's a
Perez.
style king.
That's the thing.
Because you're on a London, I know what your thing is. I know what
I
style
don't like
you
that
like.
style.
Yeah, but see, like his style has appeal to the Euro and to the thing. Remember them early 2000s? Everyone was doing all that fucking like thin to thick things, and
but like
do you know what I mean?
really thin, thick.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? If
And
you
then-
fuck with that, that's your guy. And he had the London street shit, but he also had like he's doing his own thing. When you actually think about it, like we we
But you
all
see
like,
them whole cars, you know when you take up back in the day when they used to take up old whole cars like that?
Yeah, yeah.
And it would be him, and who else would do it with?
Heel.
Not Neymar would
no?
do burners, like, but them sort of, and they spread it out like mad, or it gets really thin, and it kind of just distorts the letter so much that I wasn't really into that.
But I reckon
when it does it,
when you actually think about the physical thing, yeah, if you go through the feeling of like being straight, boom, 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 and you go through the feeling of
yeah,
like,
I get that.
If you do like a whole thing like that, and you must leave
more
feeling
swaggy,
very
like you're
stylish.
enjoying it more. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
But
that's
I've
why.
seen him do like top to bottom straight
yeah.
letters, and they look much better, in my opinion. Like much better. Like chalk and cheese.
When we were chatting the other day, when we were chatting the other day, was it this thing you were talking about? Was that one?
That's the boy, yeah.
And that was through Oka and them lot. You said they were using this cap.
Not them lot, just him. He just showed that to me, and I've never looked back since. I reckon that's.
What's this cap called? Has it got a name? Yes, yeah, silver cap with a yellow dot in it. And you were talking about it yesterday. You were saying that why you prefer this cap?
It's like a laser. Do you know
What? So you can go like.
I'm not like a flexy New York cap wearer that's going for a thin tag at the bottom and flare out at the top and doing all that. It's just I just want it.
The
Like
one bit about your graph that I think and it shows that you don't care about it that much is the hand stuff. You don't care doing the. You see when you do your Y.
Yeah.
I don't like the Y.
Alright.
You know because a Y is a wicked letter to finish it and like bring it down back.
Yeah.
And you used to do that, and this is quite recently. You've done it that, and it has like the gap, kind of too much of a gap in it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you're doing that deliberately. I know you're doing that deliberately.
I'm just doing what feels quick.
Yeah. Well, that's just a quick reach.
Yeah. I don't care about having like a flexi tag.
That's what I'm saying. But I
Yeah.
can see you don't care about it. But you do
Is that a
what
dig?
I'm trying to say.
I can see, obviously you don't care about your style because
No,
look at
no.
it.
What I'm trying to say is, I can see the way you do your graph. He goes up to the thing and he goes, I don't fucking care. And that's like part of the graph. And I'm going to do the R like that, bring it down here, and then go da. And it's like not joined up. There's always gaps between the letters, and then bosh, finish on the big Y.
My Y is better than mine, man. And also, that's cold to just immediately deflect and cuss someone else, yeah? But see that reach
No, but
there?
you could do many a Y, is what I'm saying.
That is a better, cooler one, the one that's on this concrete.
Yeah, the bit underneath.
Rather when he's trying to get all flexy and join up and do all that, it's too much. You're doing too much.
Yeah.
I'm
But sometimes you'll get a massive reach, fat
Yeah.
cap, big separate T, big separate R, big
And it's legible.
separate. That's come from them, man. That's come from Lordy and those and Oka, big separate kind of big letter reaches. You know what I mean? I can see it.
There was definitely some influence from New York as well, like those like JA and.
I don't know about none of that.
Yeah,
He doesn't know about none of that.
Oka's went out there.
He got grills from fucking Staten Island.
All right, let's play a tune.
I used to see grills was like a west thing, a northwest thing. That's where I see grills.
What do you see?
Grills.
Yeah,
like diamonds in the
North
teeth
Wheezy.
and like
Yeah.
I still class it with Atlanta, man, South America. Not South America, but South of America.
Yeah.
That's where
Southern
I'm at
states.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
I know the one gold tooth, that's a London thing. The one gold tooth thing.
Goldie ting.
What, looking like the fucking burglar out of Home Alone? That's dodgy. Just a one is very untrustworthy.
Back in the day, that's what the dentist. That was the dentist's go-to. If you had your tooth come out, there would be a gold tooth, and then so many people later on wishing they didn't have it. But that back in the day, like people my age, that was the go-to. So a gold tooth, stick it in, bosh. Could have put AH2 in diamonds.
Maybe we change location, go sit in there. There's another cool little spot for us to chill. But while we do that, there was a song you suggested, man. Can you set up the song while I play it in the edit? You sent us a song. It was fuck, what was it called?
It
Look on
was
the group.
so that kind of hip-hop from like 14, 16 years ago.
What? The NK lot.
No, it was called like Crime. No, what was it?
Night Creepers.
Night Creepers, that's
Yeah.
it. Is it just because you like the song, or you know the people who made it?
Yeah,
Or?
and these lot are from here.
Oh, they're from the
Yeah,
the ends. Okay.
Rossi. Fatal Rossi and that.
W6. He mentions it in the tune.
Ah, yeah, it's proper aggro tune, man. Sick. All right, we'll check this tune out while we change location.
Top hole in the wall and put your pin number in. It's that tune, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know it bar for bar.
All right,
Yeah, of
sweet.
course.
I never heard it before. Let's
It's
get
like,
into
put
it.
it in and hurry up, put it in. Like,
Type
we're
it
gonna
in
say
the
all your
dough.
Wong, that's it.
Your Wong. Wong. That was it. Wong.
I come in combats ready for combat.
Sick.
P90K, come to your drum with guns. And we kidnap mums and we wear low bums. Get lean up off the coke and rums. And we're murking plums, spinning drums and taking funds.
Got an M3 with keys, grab Ben's rips nuts and we're out with ease.
And it's Benz, Ross, rips, nuts. Chat it, then you're gonna get gun bummed. And it's Benz, Ross, nuts, rips. Reppin' W6, draw for the shot.
Wash your pin, type it in.
Yeah.
I ain't got long. Type it in. I want all your Wong. But that actually activates me, that tune.
I'm not on a long ting, what's the wrong ting? Blood, I'll cave your jaw. MD run up in your drums, take PlayStations from sons. And we take chains from mums. Sons get banged up if they run gums. I'll let Cluesy search for the funds. Sitting in the driver's seat with the sawn off in the back seat. For the rear mirror I peek. See boy them trying to creep, so I let off 1-2 beat. Cluesy shotgun, gotta make tracks on feet. Out the back door, then jump in the G. Oh shit, I got away with the bag, but I dropped the ice out on the concrete. What's the deal, face? Have you got the still face? Are you ready to kill fates? You know this is real fates.
Yeah, it's cool Benz. I've got the scans Benz. I'll bring two of my friends Benz with the blacked out Benz.
Spray Jake's at the roundabout. Put on the part at the roundabout. Link out to the roundabout. And you won't see AK around about.
Personally, talk about. We changed location. Big tune, by the way. What was it called? Crime? No. Night creepers.
Creepers.
Night creepers.
NK.
MK, big up, man. So yeah, you got everyone feeling proper rowdy. My man Trap, if you don't follow him on Instagram, which is probably highly unlikely, most people who follow us most likely follow Trapy as well. If not, you should definitely go check it. His Instagram link is below. He does loads of things like roadcasts, where people send him questions. There are all sorts of mad questions that people send you, man, and you're a fucking joker. Sometimes you have guests on. You had us on at one point. So you reached out to some of your listeners, and they
Send it into the
you
WhatsApp
did?
group.
Easy.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Could have a look.
Would you rather lose £50 a day until you die, or gain 50 kilograms of fat right now?
Jesus.
So 50 kg of fat right now,
Yeah, I could drop that.
or lose a 50 every day.
I feel like both are happening.
Lose a pinky.
Yeah, I'm
Both
losing.
are happening to me anyway.
Living in London, man.
If
50.
you gain 50 kilograms, yeah,
You could
you'd
drop it.
blatantly lose. You'd blatantly lose more than £50 a day anyway.
Yeah.
For just being such a fat cunt.
But it's instant weight, no?
Yeah, bang. So
Yeah.
getting down the steps now, you'd be like wobbling down. Fame, help me, blood.
Jesus.
Do you reckon it's easier to lose weight or to make money?
That's an interesting question,
It
but
depends on a lot of factors like your metabolism,
Yeah.
you know, how you break down your food, what you're doing, how many steps a day you're taking.
Also,
got-
how much you value cash.
I got a
How
super
you-
quick metabolism, so I'll take the weight, man. I'll lose it pretty quickly. I'm good, man.
That's because of the weed.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't even smoke that much, though.
Enough.
Yeah, maybe. Another one.
Scrunch or fold? I don't know.
Scrunch or fold.
What is it?
It just says scrunch or fold. That's it.
What does that mean?
All right, here's what, I don't know what, whoever sent in scrunch or fold, we don't even know what that means. Was there a point when you realised you'd graduated from being a toy?
To what?
To like the local legend of all London city bad man, do you know what I mean? With
I
fucking
think-
everything.
I think with Trap, it was as soon as it went click, like you click this gold tooth in,
As
and
soon as
that's
I got
it.
a little bit shiny.
Yeah, then boom.
I was like, yeah, that's it. I'm the fucking boy now.
We've had that question before. Like I kind of said, it was when I was painting with elders who didn't know me, and they didn't big me up or shout me out, but they didn't rob me. They didn't chuck it with me. They looked at my piece that I was painting, and they went, oh, and bopped off. And that's in my head. I was like, all right, I've made it.
Bro, you set the bar low,
I
man.
know, proper low.
Just like, if it's not negative, I'll have that as a good.
You came out of being a toy. That's it. So it's not a high bar.
But
not being
it
a
depends.
toy.
So what did we say earlier? Do you know what I mean? As soon as like more people start seeing it, and they don't know, like I know because of the way that I've grown, in the speed that I've grown, like notoriety. People that know me, people that feel like they're in the know or something, that are like, I don't know who that bro is. Must be fake. None of it is true.
Yeah.
This bro can't be about it, because if he would be, then I would know.
I would have heard about it. Yeah.
So if that's the mentality, then being a toy or a king is just a perspective of an individual.
100%.
You know what I mean? So it depends how you feel about yourself.
You know what's mad, actually? We did a post the other day. I don't know if you saw this video. It went a little bit viral. This writer from Germany, Rage. He's like a bad man train writer from the 90s, 80s even. Like, he's painted bare trains.
What do the green screen thing?
The green screen thing. And
Yeah,
so
I
I made a little clip out of us talking about it. And he was saying, oh, it's a bit moist. But obviously, we doffed our hat. Like, he went to the yard, did a whole car. Obviously, Rage is a legend. So we bigged him up. But we were catching jokes as well. Rams MSK, you know the guy doing all the...
Absolutely disgusting.
He wrote a
This
comment.
gives me anxiety.
Yeah, he wrote a comment underneath the clip saying toy opinion.
Opinion?
Yeah, about what we were talking about. He must have thought we were taking a piss. When we weren't, we were just catching jokes. So he obviously saw that and thought, they're taking a piss.
Don't have it. Weigh him in.
No, okay, no, but that regardless, someone like...
Yeah,
I'm going to weigh him in.
Don't fucking have it.
But someone like Rams,
Where is
MSK,
he? LA? I'll blatantly weigh him in.
I think he's New Zealand, I think. I don't even know.
I don't know nothing about the
If he's from New Zealand, I might not weigh him in.
But back to your point, it's about someone's perspective. Rams don't know who the fuck we are. He's never watched ArmsHouse before. He saw one little clip that someone probably sent him, and he was like, yeah, toy.
Yeah.
And to his perspective, I mean, I can't say nothing to when it comes to Graff. I haven't been rappelling off fucking skyscrapers and buildings and doing all sorts of crazy shit.
I think Graff ain't for you. If you've got a fragile ego, you're not in it for long.
That's it.
You're gonna get fucking...
Go right into the mic.
You're gonna go home. You're gonna go home and cry. If like, what are you looking for? Are you looking for like a certain person's rating, a certain group of people's rating? Are you looking for like what? Most people that I like and that I know do Graff, it's their own personal challenge with it.
Yeah.
Like, they've painted all the yards they've wanted to paint it, or the models they wanted to paint it, or achieve, like, they've set their personal task. Like, I want to do this.
All the old reaches that I never did before.
Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah. So it's a personal journey.
exactly.
If you're out here doing Graff for other people, you're an idiot.
Exactly. I think at first, because you're doing it out there and people are going to comment it, you're going to run into people, and there is, especially when you're young, you've got that element of, I want to be accepted and I want to be liked. But as you grow older, and if you're real to it and you enjoy it for what it is, other people's perspective and opinions matter much, much less. And you're right.
Sorry, wait, let me finish the thing I said and edit it a bit, yeah? If you're doing it solely for other people's opinion, you're an idiot. Because you are right, yeah. It is like it's an interactive thing. Otherwise, I'd just fucking batter the flats at the end of my road.
But as you
that
get
I see
older,
only.
Literally, I know some writers who are ill who don't give a flying fuck what anybody thinks, and their Graff shows to a certain degree, but they enjoy doing it.
But then again,
like
also, do you know what I'll say, yeah? If someone can't do any... just a violent question. But then also, there's no way of me answering questions about violence I've done to people without either giving like ammunition for them to get me nicked, which is like an inevitable thing. If they carry on in that direction, that's what they're on. I'm on violence.
Yeah.
It's only gonna go until the point where, like, you're not from street life. You will snitch. Your family will say to you, brother, you have to snitch. You know what I mean?
To get you out of this life-changing...
You're in danger. Look at what you're getting yourself into. Do you know what I mean? Just because you do gear and you do alcohol and go out with your pals and feel brave in that moment, it has consequences. And I personally would have thought that, like, if you got sent to the hospital and all your pals all got slaps and they all cried, and I think I'd have to reassess my feelings towards someone if they did that to me and my pals.
Yeah. No, fair enough, man.
Now, one more question before Graff Critique, yeah?
Go on.
Or maybe two more questions. And I reckon this is Graffer. He's put grafter.
Wait, I just want to add on to what...
Oh, I'm being interrupted by Amber. That's a massive surprise. No, it's a massive, it's a huge surprise.
No, about street life and graffiti.
Right.
Of course, there's grey area there, but I don't think Graff is intrinsically
a street thing. It is 100%.
It is a street thing.
It's like being a soldier and being like, well, I want to do my thing, but I don't want anyone to shoot me. Like, but that's
I want to be out on the street, putting my name up on the street.
Yeah, and you're doing it in shithole ends.
Times when people are doing street life things, at those kind of times, that's when I'm out doing street bombing and this and this and this.
Yeah.
Street thing.
Yeah, but street life, I account it with like gang
stick
activity,
to
but even
legal
saying
rules then.
that,
If you're coming
there's
out on a track side, like really, the people that are getting on the trains and the public transport, they're the grafters. That's a working class mode of transport.
Yeah.
It is. The people that are on these trains right now are finishing work, to and from work. They're grafting.
True.
It's a working class. It's inherently like a working class thing to want to be seen by the
come in
other
a little
working
bit,
class.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean? Like really, if you want to like, I don't know, boil down the science to it, I've not thought of it like that until now that I'm saying it. But really, it is. It's
No,
just
I see what you're
naturally
saying.
been.
That's a valid point.
Well, the point that I never got to finish. But how I first got into Graff, like my first thing of like meeting Brez as a kid, playing part football, and then hearing how people address each other. And I know that FIFA, Spell, I know that that's not their government names. And as a child, that's cool. That's like they've got a cool thing. And I've also seen their tags in the manor. I've seen them. And so I'm like, and I remember that feeling being like, oh, that's cool. I want a little thing. And then at youth club, all me and my pals were all like trying to come up with names and MC and and all this, and it was culturally normal. It wasn't like I was given a choice of what do you want, mate? Do you want to do cricket or do you want to do Graff? There was no one ever showed me no cricket, and that's never come across me. The only thing that I had was that dum. So I just followed what.
But the
to be
thing
part
is,
of.
I'm leaning more into the art side of Graff, which intrinsically is there. So now, to be an MC, do you have to be street to be an MC? No, but a lot of MCs.
You're very much a a talented, artistic graffiti artist.
Right.
And I would say other people.
No, but I'm not trying to be specific about me. Obviously, it's coming from a personal space, but
Yeah, we're talking about the non-street thing.
no, I'm just saying, like now, like for example, the example of being a rapper. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
a lot of rappers choose to talk about street shit.
It's a street thing.
No, but it's not intrinsically a
Now
street
it's not,
thing.
but the same way that Graff.
They're commenting on what they see on the streets.
Yeah, but not every rapper chats about street shit. That's the thing.
Now, and not every rapper, not every writer is about it. But that's how it originally was formed. You was outside, you was about it, you was on stuff. If not, you get a wedgie and get your paint took and
It was definitely
go home.
For
Do you know what I mean?
real.
The same with rap. You could like, if you look at like grime or like that, that's my generation seeing grime come about. If you want to jump on the mic, you have to be about it.
You have
Otherwise,
to
don't want to
be-
give it to you.
Yeah.
And also, if you're gonna rap about and you're not on that, you're gonna get badded up. The same way with graphics, like like you're badding up as many people that build your own name, and it ends up like there's more writers that I remember had built their name off of the things they would do more than the Graff.
More than the Graff, exactly, 100%.
It was out there, it was doing
and you
crimes
kind of
and-
had to lower the probability of someone going over you. You had to have a reputation. If you go over me, there's going to be problems, and so forth, so forth. It's just I have a little bit of a hard time intrinsically linking the two, even though they inevitably are. Yeah, to a certain degree. To a degree, yeah. I would say the same with MCing. No, but MCing when it started with the DJ and the guy going, all right, could the people in the green Honda, you got to move your
Yeah,
car
all
and
right.
shit, and then that developed into, hey, put your hands in the air, throw them up like you just don't care.
That wasn't rap.
It was technically the beginning of rap.
That wasn't rap. That was the beginning of it.
That was
It
the
wasn't
beginning.
rap.
Yeah, but it's
When
nothing
you
to do with
start
street.
rapping and talking about something, not telling them move your Volvo.
Yeah.
You start talking about something, and you're talking about what you see. I live on the 8th block of this blah blah blah. You're going on about it.
I know what it
That's
became.
rap. That other shit isn't rap.
Technically, it is the beginning of rap.
Rap is 100 billion% like the most.
Well, it's done on the street.
Things
Yeah.
there is.
It's done on the street. Yeah, I know.
But now it's not.
Yeah.
Now it's not.
Now
But all
because
that shit, Latimer, Trellick, none of that is street.
I'm not
rap.
saying it is. I'm not saying it
That's
is.
like artistry where people are like showing off like mad skills and shit.
Of course.
They're not like out riding lines.
Even though Halls of Fames back in the day were,
yeah.
you'd get caught up in some shit in a Hall of Fame back in the day. Not,
but that's
not like it's
that's
like
the
that.
nature of who it's for. That's why it's like that. Do you know what I mean? If
the
you
participants.
the participants are like that.
I don't know if you're
Go
on camera. That's the only thing. And it's a bit windy, people. So if you're picking up mad wind, apologies, man.
I'll only be a silhouette anyway. But the way that the people are have shaped it to be the way that it is, right? All these things are street things. Now, like it's evolved because, like I said, the entry point to it is accessible. The entry point for Graff when I was younger, where's you fucking get it? We got to go home base and steal 1 tin each, and then hope that we got enough to do a couple tags when we could sneak out at night as kids. Do you know
There's
what I
a
mean?
massive difference between being a graffiti writer and a graffiti artist. Because when you're doing writing, all your stuff's getting buffed, you're fighting the buff. You need to get up all different areas of the city, you need to do the trains, you need to do throw-ups and tags, you need to do Basically what I'm saying is, you've got to do your job or not, even if you're shotting, that's your job, whatever. After that, you've got to take the time out of your day to wear different garms, pack a bag, go to some mile away place, maybe not paint it.
It might not be on,
80% of Graff, bruv, we don't paint it. Because it's on top, you can't do it, whatever. Billions of things happen. It's and that for me is when I, because we were talking about someone doing Graff on their J. That's what I do, Graff on my J's all the time. But and then it makes me feel like I'm active, I'm a writer. Because I'm going out on my J. I've phoned out a couple of mates. If they don't come, I'm still going. Because I know I've got to do this, fight the butt. I know if I don't do it, I won't be up on the whatevers. And in 5 seconds, it's gone. So when someone's active, even at those toys down there, if they're active, bruv, they're putting in actual work. It's taking time out of your day on an almost daily basis. And then when you're active, like the people painting trains, or some of our mates and that, they're living completely different hours, bruv. Yeah. Completely different hours. They're actually nocturnal breeds. And you see them 3, 4, 5 in the morning clapping a munch and driving down the road and you're like, Jesus, being in the Graff life is difficult. It's fucking difficult. And yeah, people can go and paint a wicked burner at Trellick and even dudes who used to be up. It's cool because they used to be up, they get props for that.
But I wouldn't put it in the same...
It's different.
If you get called a street artist or someone that sees all that shit in Shoreditch and that,
bun that.
It's like stolen valor. It's like wearing army fatigues and getting all
I
the
can
ratings
go.
that
We
you've been to
know
war.
we can go Shoreditch and just go up to the wall and just get a reach like that. Even if feds are there, no one's gonna say anything. It's completely different.
That stolen valor thing, I think, is very true, because what do you get comments-wise when you are painting in those fucking Shoreditch, Hackney areas? What do the normal bots say?
LGBT flags.
Yeah, they usually say, I like these pretty things, but I don't like the tags. And you're like, bruv, there would be no pretty things if there was no
It's
tags.
the same like the posh people that say, I like my beautiful flat, I just don't want to look at the poor people.
Well, yeah. There we go.
So,
I couldn't possibly.
You know what I mean?
So what's that saying? Yeah, that's saying what they dictate to be the threshold of what they rate. Do you know what I mean? They're saying they rate it when it's colourful murals, permission, it's been paid for, it's this and that. But that's only available to a select few. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why when I was saying earlier about the art thing and being direct to the consumer, there's a big difference. If you're trying to bum galleries and trying to be like, I beg you help me shot my thing, I beg you da-da-da, or if the gallery has approached you because they want to be like the street thing, because you know that
we want to get props. We
yeah.
invite to Trapy, we get the Trapy props now.
You know, I don't know much about Basquiat, but I knew the bear was just some homeless junkie that was scribbled on the street, the same old stuff, yeah? So a gallery getting hold of that brer, they're just pitching that as this is raw street. This is just some mad cunt scribbling.
Yeah.
And it looks like
drug-addled
Don't
motherfucker.
tell me that's sick. It looks mental. The brer's mental. Do you know what I mean?
There's some good parts of it, but yeah, I know what you're saying. I know where you're coming from, but yeah, it's subjective to a certain degree. But
all of it is. But my point is, with that stuff, it's fucking...
It's just from our experience, obviously growing up in London in the 90s, doing Graff, of course violence was a part of it. There was always fights kicking off and slaps and people getting all this stuff. But the only trouble I have is intrinsically linking violence with graffiti.
No, street.
No
one said violence.
Yeah,
but
that's
you
a
say
street thing.
shit is violent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Tell me anyone that grew up poor that never had a fist fight.
Someone who's good at street isn't getting nicked for being violent. They're not getting nicked.
Yeah,
they're still being violent.
But what I'm saying is,
I know a lot of out there writers who have done a lot of damage, who are the most peace-loving dudes who never would, you'd call them a pussy, because they would never fight anyone in their fucking life.
Yeah, but they would if someone, otherwise, then where did they grow up?
Yeah, what, in London writers who are out there, right? Who?
I mean, I'm not going to name any names now, man.
and they're a pussy as well.
Pussy. This guy's a pussy.
They don't exist, bro.
Nah, they do. They do exist, man. They do exist, man.
You're thinking about
Bruv, people in their houses now are thinking, no, there's plenty of people out there who are out doing their thing, who get sent out there, who get jacked, who get punched, slapped about, but they still continue doing their thing. Yeah, like doing all sorts of fucked up shit. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, that's the only, like, you know, I'm a peace and love type of dude, you know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. But anyway, let's do a bit of Graff Critique, huh? We got sent in, people keep sending in your Graff for critique.
I want to ask naughty questions.
Go on,
Ask
then.
No, I can't.
Ask away.
Oh, what's that? Fuck.
What's that?
Fuck
So do you want to set up the Graff Critique?
So-
What do people do? Where do they send it? And
Listen, please send in more pictures every week. We need more and more photos for Graff Critique. Send them into ArmsHouse to your mum's house at gmail.com and we'll critique them. Send in a couple, send them in like nice and clean so we can see them. If we can't, please say what it says. Do you know what I mean? And then we can test ourselves to see if we can even see that shit.
And we will take the piss out of it, but just look at it as a way of us jumping you into AHC, yeah? So you know what I mean? It's like jumping you into the gang. All right, this first one's a dub sent in by a guy who writes drunk, and he's written sober as well next to it, but it's a dub, D-R-U-N-K, capital letters, silver fill, green bubbles, black outline, red clouds round the outside.
Already, because of what we've been just talking about now, so I mean, this just stands out to me as like a legal bit of normal Graff.
Yeah.
So I don't really critique, I don't really
Also,
care.
my boy writes drunks properly,
Oh, okay, well there we go.
like a proper writer.
Who, this?
Nah, drunks.
But what comes to
Drugs.
mind when you
No,
say-
drunks.
Oh.
Like that with an S on the end.
Okay, so
When I think of that, dud, that's typography. That's not graph. And
look at the bubbles, the green bubbles.
The red doesn't even go round it.
but also like what makes me feel dark about shitting on it is probably a you, no?
Yeah, I know, but
If
like
he's an adult, you're an idiot. If you're like teenage or early 20s, I see that you've
Early
got,
20s, I'm not even allowing that. I'm not even allowing that.
It's neat. I mean, I'll give him.
But I reckon it's the first one. I reckon it's an old dude.
it's dark. If that is, that's dark.
I don't think it's neat. The black in the middle of the U, the red doesn't go around the whole thing. It should at least go around as a
I don't
fucking
like the
border.
different size letters either.
Nah.
Also, bruv, you're doing a chrome and black legal thing, bruv. You got all the time in the world and you went for that. Mad. Mad. Like, bruv, don't get it twisted. Like, I'll link up with pals and I'll do like a legal chill wall during the day. But I'm trying to flex something I've never done before.
Yeah,
so that when
it
I'm
always comes
when
out
I go
much better. Like, you're like, yo,
Yeah.
I can paint like a motherfucker when I'm doing this legal shit.
But also, like, what I'm saying is like a technique or a colorway and seeing how things mix, how they work, so that when you then have to do it, you're not doing it for the first time.
You've
on the
already
wall.
done it.
Do you know what I mean? The first, like, there's a lot of graph that I've done outside that I wish I would have practiced because I pass it and I'm like, oh,
Yeah, that's the thing about real Graff. If you do say, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And that can happen at any time.
Describe it first. Can you see what it says?
Just some New York, like, font.
Cream? Irame?
No, that's a New York thing. He's probably taken each letter from someone else or like
Cap.
a YouTube tutorial type.
It says frame. F-R-A-M-E.
Ah, YouTube
he's-
tutorial
if-
type. I see that there. I see it.
I don't rate that stuff. I don't rate that stuff at all. Also,
If the R is an R, then I'm very upset.
is that hoarding for a festival?
That's what it looks like.
It does look
He's
like
just
festival
white and he's
hoarding.
got blonde dreadlocks and he sells pad. Oh,
Yeah.
White guys with sandals and blonde dreadlocks.
Yeah.
Some of the worst people I've ever met in my life.
Disgusting, yeah,
In my life.
Bristol. Oh, that's like you, bro.
Me?
Trying to
How
come for
dare
you.
you? Look at the R.
How dare you?
Look at the A. Look at them. Look at the E, bruv.
Why is that the lowest quality ever?
Even the photo.
He's on drugs. For sure, he's on drugs.
You know, we were talking about this having more fun when you're going like that.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
definitely done that. He's got lashed and he's turned up and done that.
You know who I reckon has fun? Grit.
Great.
Bruv,
And
I swear he's got like
Grit.
He's got certain letters that are like. I swear he's making them up.
Who
I need
was I
to get
thinking
a
does
side
that?
by side and see. You know when they overlap to see if they're actually the same thing or he's just making it up.
You know, I said something about Percy looks like he's having fun.
Yeah.
That's what Percy looks like.
Yeah, you don't like it. Dog shit, you said.
Oh, the reach. The reaches that are on the panels that I don't like them.
Yeah, they're very much him, and they're very much like.
But it looks like he doesn't even bother about his own reach.
Nah, he cares. He thinks that's sick, for sure.
Well, the way you see when he does the E, and then he
E to
goes,
the R.
like that. He thinks
reckon
that's
the first
sick.
time he did
thinks
that, he went-
sick. Yeah, the first time, and
He's like,
then you
"That
learn
is
that
sick."
it's not. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's get off.
But also, one thing, he seems to me like a bit of a solo bear that don't really roll with no one. So
I don't know the geezer at all.
I know there's certain times I've been out with pals and I do experiment with my graph. You know, I might try a little thing and someone's like,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you need friends like that.
Yeah.
For me anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'll do the same.
Percy
with our
doesn't have
pals.
friends like that.
Like, but then again, look at, like, he's on a different thing. He's left to flourish and be what he is.
He's battered it.
Yeah, but also I reckon that comes from he's not coming across anyone trying to give him a wedgie or take his paint.
No.
He's just left.
Different lane.
Crack
Different
on.
lane.
Yeah, crack on.
All right, so next one. This is done by a kid. I think he's 16 or something.
Grow up.
Says Echo.
I can tell you're a virgin.
All right, so
can tell.
Trappy's saying get laid first before you paint anymore. Green 3-color. You want to call
Block
that a fade?
fill.
It's not even a fade, man. He's tried to fade. Learn how to
Yeah.
fade. Tilt the spray can a bit more.
I don't rate that. I don't rate them fills.
Mad, fucking not very confident.
Look how wide the shadow is on the right of the lot of your dark piece, and then look how thin it is on the inside of the C, bruv. Keep it the same size, and like Amber says, when you get these different greens, fade them in. Don't just do a line. Like, actually fade it in. So turn the can, spray it up, and take the can away, and just hold it down and let it go.
Dusty
Dust
boys.
it. Dust it all over the shop. Put your highlights closer to the inside of your letters and put them in the correct place.
And what's that with toys just doing the top corner? Is that because you can't work out where it's supposed to go? Like, people, I've seen that a couple times, people send in stuff and they only put the highlight in the top corner. It's dumb, man.
That's just a mistake. Who's
It's
that
also
there?
going the wrong way. If
the shadow,
the vantage point is there, that's that. The shine should be coming top left if your 3D's coming top right, no?
Yeah.
It's like an object if you think
Yeah.
about the shape. Little fucking idiot.
Thanks for
Stupid
sending in
little
your
cunt.
graph critiques. Thanks for sending in your graph critiques. And please keep sending them in. Is that it? Or we got more? There's one more. Don't get too put off. I used to get jacked for being a toy. They used to rip the pages out of my sketchbook and dash them on the tracks.
You're in AHC now. We're jumping you into the crew. That's what we're doing here, yeah? Now we got King Traphouse.
Oh, yeah, he's
Big
dark.
T. Big T.
Have you got eyes on him? Do you know what kind of bear he is?
Yeah. We do now. Well, he does. He does.
I've chatted to him a couple times,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
He's a really safe bloke, but he's like country bumpkin.
Age bracket, what we talking?
Oh, in his 20s, I reckon.
Okay.
Mid-20s.
He's the bloke who sent the voice note and it sounded like that. Basically, bro.
Does he
King Tapas, mate. Does what he wants. You know what I mean?
right, does he meddle with any substances or?
Oh, blatantly ketamine. Ketamine all over it, bro.
Bruv,
Ketamine.
Thank you. I was about to say,
100%.
There's a very clear ketamine
100%.
style, especially when I go like up leads and that, because it
Why do you
gets
say that?
weird like that. It's like that
Yeah.
happens to bears. You know the same
That
way
is like a ketamine style.
you can tell when bears smoke themselves reggae. They smoke too much weed and they get all they start to lean to a certain aesthetic.
What on the peak? Like, is it just the thin and thick bits?
The size of the
But
letters.
it's all of it. It's all of it.
Everything about
Doing the
it.
tea like that.
Yeah.
It's
The
pulling
yellow,
up.
like everything about it.
Tapas, hit us up, man. You on the ket, man? Lay off the ket, bro.
How many bags of ket a month? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. But do you know what happens?
We're building a business. We can shot it to you instead. It'd be much better. Much better.
Fucking. Do you know what happens when you abuse that drug? You lose control of your bowels and that. You start pissing and shitting involuntarily,
Why would you ever take that, man? I just don't.
and then you take
I've
it to the
seen
point where you're
so many
shitting yourself.
heads like in a rave on that, and you're clearly not enjoying yourself. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Bro?
But I think when you shit your pants, you have to change up.
Got to
you
have a
to
word
fix
with
up.
yourself.
Is there any drug you haven't done, Trappy?
Loads of drugs.
Yeah? Okay, because I've tried pretty much everything except
Oh,
for heroin.
that's dark.
Huh?
Except heroin.
Well, no, there's plenty
There's
of...
been times.
I've never like...
I said, well, there's been times.
No, I've done opium, I've done crack,
Okay, yeah.
I've done cocaine, I've like bits. Like I've never like heavily done anything, but I've been around people. I try things out. I like to try it, but I did ketamine once.
You come from a different generation
yeah,
when,
yeah, a bit
when
older.
like doing it was like a different thing. But that is mad. I've never put nothing up my nose. I've never done nothing mad. I did get had up on the lean and the Zans and all that wave.
Oh, you see, I never done that. I never done that.
Where do you think the derby come from? Do you know what I mean? But I used to be fucking a slight man.
Jeez.
But yeah.
I was definitely more into upper things because I was doing a lot of raving in the 90s, man. And so, you know, pills and coke and all that was kind of like a big part of that. Luckily, I came out the other side. A lot of people didn't, man, you know?
Yeah. I had people up. I think fucking, it depends on your relationship with it.
Yeah.
I got caught smoking weed in year 7 or year 8, something like that. Had a whitey and called my old man and he gave me like a real fucking like nice conversation about like, if you're curious about any of these things, chat to me.
Boom.
I'll do it with you.
Yeah.
You want to do something?
Sick.
You'd probably like mushrooms. That'd be fun. Go Richmond Park. You'd love that. Do you know what I mean? If you want to try this and that.
See, that's smart, man, because he knew
but
he knew he's not going to stop you from doing shit, but he'd rather be there and be able to observe and like talk you through it. Yeah, that's sick.
What I was going to say is that removed all my curiosity. I don't need to find out what something's like.
Yeah.
He's told me what it's like and the best environments to do it in. The cocaine will make you chatty and you'll probably want to be in a pub with some mates that you can chat to.
Yeah.
With the ecstasy and things like that, you want to be in a club, you want to dance.
Exactly, yeah.
With the mushrooms, be in nature, daytime, enjoy yourself. Do you know what I mean? The weed, he was telling me you can always do more. You can never get unhigh. What I did.
Yeah.
Blazing big rockets at lunch break.
That's what, 14?
13, 14, yeah. And fucking like getting double stoned and like I was new to the school and it was the other writers, the other writers that have got tags and that, hanging out with them.
Yeah.
And this is me and Betts. Both started the new school at the same time. That's how we actually met. So we both being new to the school. And when they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go blaze the zoo at lunch. Like, yeah, of course. Obviously, do you know what I mean? You just bullshit your way into that.
Yeah. Certain amount of peer pressure.
Do you know what I mean? They just fucking absolutely hammer it until fucking...
Bruv.
Yeah, but what I was saying about the drugs thing, removing any type of like, there's no taboo. If I want to smoke weed, my old man is cool with that. I can do that in the living room with him. If I want to sniff gear, if I want to do any...
It removes a lot of the, I need to do this, you know.
I've got no curiosity about it. I actually think it's uncool.
Yeah.
The idea of sniffing or the idea of taking drugs with my dad is the most uncool thing ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Like,
And him being cool with it as well. Like, kind of, like you said, it takes away the...
Actually, that's a quick dig, because there's certain writers out there now that do that.
Oh, shit.
There is, yeah.
Damn.
And I don't rate them.
Because my dad was the opposite. My dad was like, zero tolerance, all that. And so I was like, yo,
That's
as
where
a
you
kid,
got the curiosity
I was
and
like,
like-
yeah, let me try this shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
But he also instilled in me too much of anything is a fucking bad thing, no matter what it is, you know what I mean, as well. And they also provided me with, they're there for me regardless, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's not like, so, you know, I don't want to completely shit on my parents, you know what I mean?
Also, so the other thing that I'll touch on is culture, because different cultures, if you look at like the schools that I was in and the circles and the things like that, the more like, let's say urban culture, if like one kid had done ecstasy on the weekend, everyone's like, crackhead, you're a crackhead, your whole family's crackhead, da-da-da.
Chat to me, you're never coming round
Yeah,
all my days.
yeah, it's a big deal. Whereas there's other cultures, like if you go to like Essex or something like that, that's more like, they're more like,
He had his first D last night, didn't he? Cracked his cherry. Got his mum's like in the kitchen like, go on, my youth.
There you go.
Jokes.
Exactly. So I think the way that my culture was with my pals and a lot of people serving around me, that it's like, you don't do that. That's for punters.
Yeah.
And then also like from being exposed to the business element of it early, I can't value, you can't shop to me something for 50 quid that I know
You know what's
is really what
Yeah.
it's worth. I'm not a punter, I'm not a dickhead. Even when I started smoking weed, I was already like, I weren't some fucking kingpin weed rare. But I had enough to smoke as much as I want, and it wouldn't affect me financially.
Yeah.
So I have a different relationship with it, whereas like I couldn't see like you know the mates earlier on that would, you know, like I'm saying, when I first tried it in secondary school, that's like 5-6 man all chipping in a couple pound for like a draw. Do you know what I mean? Like that's a different relationship.
Hold it in. Just get as lean as you can from the little we got. Yeah.
Oh, do you know about the rising choker?
The rising choker. That's big up PJ the
Yeah, that's dark, man. But I shit on people that have substance abuse issues and things like that, because I half don't rate it. Do you know what I mean? I've done the lean thing. That's a hard one to shake. I've done the and I stopped. So if you're chatting shit, and I used to smoke weed every day for a couple of years, and then I stopped. I stopped all the things. I don't smoke fag. I don't do.
You know firsthand it's possible to fucking get off it. If where there's a will, there's a way, and if you don't have the will, then
you just chat shit. No, nothing. Not out of like. I've not like, you know, had some health crisis or legal issues. I've not had like relationships break down or nothing. Like the typical thing that Brett's saying, like, oh, this is why I have to turn my life around. That's not what I'm on. I actually want to do better things. Also, the other thing that I'll say to people struggling with anything like that is, brother, you can have a go at stopping and just fucking do it again if you want. It's always there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Life's too short.
The thing is, when I'm old, retired, granddad, and I've got no graft on and I'm just chilling, I'll get out my nut every day. What?
Yeah.
Say what? What? Granddad's fucked. He's on the heroin.
Yeah. You can't say nothing.
Suck my dick. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
What's going to happen? I'm going to lose what? Nothing.
No, exactly.
Look after me. I've shit myself. I've been banging K every day.
Sorry. Yeah. Now, we've said as well previous episodes, it's like once, if you're in control of the drugs, cool, but once the drugs are controlling you, then there's a fucking issue, you know what I mean? And
but
really.
most people think they have a handle on it, and don't see it. Like
when
you're inside the addiction, the idea is like
delusion. Even the fact that you're inside that addiction, if you weren't on it, you wouldn't be inside that whole thing thinking, oh well, I'm actually holding this down. All right, I'm not doing it at work, and I'm cool. I don't do it on Monday, Tuesdays now. I just do it on Fridays, Saturdays now. You wouldn't be having those convos. It's the same as smoking like a Browns or drinking or anything. You're not. You're like completely addicted to that thing or in that thing. It wouldn't exist in your fridge. If you weren't on it, bruv.
Here, one good piece of advice that I see recently, and I really liked, like the thing, because obviously all of this, anything, even when it comes to like what we're like, all of our opinions that we've been discussing about Graff or art or this or that, whatever, it's all in the mind. It's all like everything is all in the mind. Your thoughts, what you think,
everything, the way you look at something, the way you deal with something, the way you absorb something.
So it's either one day or day one. You decide. If you're saying to yourself, I'm going to quit one day, or today is day one.
Yeah.
There's no Monday I'm going to do. Monday is the classic thing that people like. Monday, everything's happening on Monday.
I went to Spain one time, and I didn't smoke cigarettes since I was like 18.
Okay.
And I went to, my son-in-law gave me like this vape.
Okay.
And I'm just like on the beach getting pissed, and bruv, I got hooked on it hard.
Oh, okay.
And I was vaping for like a year and a half, 2 years.
What,
and
on the blue raz?
One day, I'm looking at myself, putting this like fluorescent yellow and orange plastic thing in my mouth. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And I said, I'm counting it now. And I counted it, and it was hard, like 3 days. I was like, bro, I didn't realise how much, because I was like waking up vaping, having a coffee. That's a good time to have a vape when I'm having a coffee. I've just had a munch, bro. I've got nothing on, cooking, bro. Vape. It's like raw.
I'll tell you what, a really good book that helps.
But what I'm saying is, when you get off that sort of thing, and you see people vaping, you see this, and you see that, and you got no, like, I had a nicotine addiction. And I've got zero. And I just, you think to yourself, it's like a completely different. It was like actually telling me when and how I could do shit. Your mind has
changed, but why you're not a dickhead for having any thoughts about anyone is that you understand there's a full spectrum of everything. Because I know how people are. That they might just see you on this podcast and think that you're like two-dimensional. You're only the thing they see.
Yeah.
You have a range of all the same capabilities. Like that's the reason why certain things are valued, because we all have it in us to either be cowardly, scared, lazy, sad, all these things. That's why it's important and why it's valued when someone's brave. because you have the opportunity to be like that. Do you know what I mean? You can be them type of ways. So when I see someone that's on something, that's doing something, and I know that I've had that, but that's not what I'm on. Do you know what I'm saying? I can't, and equally so can they. There's nothing that separates.
You admire that in a person because you understand what it takes to do something like that.
Yeah.
Quick one, change the subject, quick, because we've got to wrap it up soon, no? Quick one about what are you feeling about the insides at the moment? Are you loving it?
Sick.
Have you seen what Central, or you do
Central,
mostly do
Bakerloo.
Jubilee, Bakerloo?
Yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
All of it. But I don't know why people are getting hesitant about doing it on the pics and the
Elizabeth one.
Yeah, no, Elizabeth is all mad. Fuck
The
that
pics
one.
is all right,
Yeah,
but the rest of them have got cameras.
yeah. So why is that stopping you?
Yeah, I know. Bally, Bosch, go on there, Bosch.
Suck my
But to be
dick,
fair,
do
on the
it.
districts and in cities, you know, the metal bars, some of them are done. Quite a lot of them are done.
Yeah, good.
Because otherwise it gets, but I'm loving it.
Also, I reckon if we're gonna go conspiracy theory, yeah, I reckon they're pushing this. I reckon they're pushing the destruction of the city. I reckon they're pushing.
They're pushing the what? The what?
There must be
Destruction
something
of the
going
city.
on. They're trying to get the trains to deteriorate more and more. We said the Bakerloo, how old is it? It's 52 years old. The trains are 52 years old. And so they want to get it.
What, the 72? The
Yeah,
Bakerloo
from
one?
1972. And so yeah, is that what you think? That they're trying to get it more and more fucked so that they have to put the funding in to get new
No,
ones?
the
They get
funding's
the
a whole
same funding every year.
Yeah, it's a separate
Agreed
thing.
with TFL.
A lot of these things they're all separate companies.
Yeah. I
I
do
mean?
think it makes, a lot of people say to me, it's a status of like the current condition of the country, of where it's at in terms
Yeah,
of
yeah.
inflation.
This is
what's
part
not.
of it.
When
This is
there's
the
more
capital.
graff like this. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the
On
capital.
the insides and the public's face, when it's not getting buffed because they're not, dealing with it.
Yeah.
It's not because there's suddenly more graff. It's
Yeah.
because they've made cuts somewhere else, or
Well,
they're
they
not
don't
dealing
rate,
with it.
Basically, it's just going to become more and more obvious. They don't rate us. Like I said, who the public transport's for is for working class to and from work. That's the only
And they
people
don't
that ride
rate
it.
us.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't rate us, and it's just less and less they give a fuck about keeping up appearances because we're not unified no more. Like, I say unified no more like I was ever like anything. Do you know what I mean? I'm not even British. What am I chatting about? I ain't got any friends that are English, both sides of the family. I don't have them. I don't know them. I'm from London, where everyone's. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, one. You are the minority, bro. Do you know what I mean? So how are you gonna band together and be like, what you not doing to my city?
He's going to be voting Farage, man.
Yeah.
But it's all the politics thing. It's all fucking ridiculous. It's, do you want to get slapped by that hand or that hand? You're getting slapped by the same breath. He's just offering you hands. Which one do you want to choose today?
The establishment.
Yeah.
There's something about tags though, like dripping tags on the inside. It's just the way I'm seeing it so much now makes me really realise how much I used to see it. And then there was a big period of time where it didn't exist.
Yeah.
Why? And then you think, why did it not exist? Those centrals that he was saying, those Bakerloos, they were still there before. They had no cameras in it, and they just weren't getting done. It just
Certain
phased
people
out.
We still had love for it. I'll tell you what, like, I know for me why I slowed down heavy on the Graff, like, it weren't because of the ASBO. I still did it in my teens. It weren't because of anything other than money. Like, it detracted so much from trying to earn a living.
It takes a lot of time.
A lot, brother.
It takes a lot of time.
And the way that I was doing it and the way that, like, how that would absorb my life pre, like, smartphones and having access to them kind of things. If you have to go out there to rack the paint, right? And then you've got to ride the lines during the day to see the spots,
exactly.
Then you've got to wait and
That's just to see it.
this is way before keys and things like that. So if you're rolling with the cutters, you're probably going to get bagged for going equipped for something mad, like a burgs or something.
Conspiracy to burgle as well.
Yeah, things like that. Cool. And then you go do the thing, and then what? What's the point? By the time you get home, you might as well just go early doors and hit home base again. Rack that paint, have a little sleep during the day. Boom, it's night time
That's
again.
what I'm saying.
Go out,
Completely
just
different
repeat.
time zone, time animal.
Where are you making money?
You're not.
At what point?
You have to dedicate all that time to Graff.
But
It's
then-
a mad thing, man. It's mad. If you're like me, and you got a 9 till 5, it actually might be quite helpful if you can be a bit of a night owl, because you can do your thing, do your job, separate it, completely separate it, and then when I come home, I'm like, right, what am I going to do today? Am I going to go do this and this and play football or
I
do
rate
bars?
it.
Or am I going to go out?
I was with some friends, some childhood friends that I used to write with when we was teenagers now, and talking about it. And obviously, I've not lived in West for the past like however long, like 10. Actually, no, I had a flat in Bush for a bit, but I've knocked about a lot.
So
a
glorious,
lot.
and you left it. I just can't believe
And
it.
one of the things that ties, like, because obviously I've got other friends that do other things. Like Graff is something that I really like. So that's why you'll see me, if you see how I use the internet, I mostly do it for Graff because that's my interest. But that's not the circle around me and my friends. That's not, I don't only have friends that are just do Graff, but I gravitate towards the Graff friends because we share this thing and it's sick. I like that, yeah? But then otherwise there's certain friends that I've got that have either moved or whatever, or wherever they live, whatever they do, to find our schedules. Like, what am I going to do? Why am I trying to date another man? Would you want to go for dinner?
Yeah.
Or am I gay?
What, in 2 weeks on Wednesday, I don't have this, and I can do that, and I can buy. Let's book it in now.
Book in, and
You're
what, you're going to sit down for dinner with someone and chat to them, or, but I don't, like I said, I don't do drugs, I do no liquor, nothing like that. So I don't want to go to the pub and chat shit. Yeah. I don't want to be in. But if it's going out to do Graff, sick, I'm all for it. And I think that's a good thing. I've made good friends through Graff, like people that are actually I'll keep for the rest of my life.
Yeah. And it's a very spontaneous thing as well, and it's on the fly type of thing as well. That
we can go do it now, right now. Whatever it is you want to do a John Wayne, there's something there somewhere.
Yeah.
You want to go do a trackside, you want to do something that you can see from the trackside, you want to do a roadside thing, a rooftop, we can go anywhere, at any time, any day.
Okay, so Trapy, just to wrap this up, yeah? Would you say, because like you said, doing Graff all the time, it takes away from making money, but you've kind of like developed...
When you're not breaking fingers, yeah? Like, are you making...
Shut up. No, but like kind of you've intrinsically linked...
Tell me, pal.
Like you've linked all these things together, the Graff, the tattooing, the persona, the online influencer. Like, I hate that word influencer, but you are... You know what I mean? To a certain degree.
I've garnished attention online because I understand how to use it. Exactly. I understand people. I'm not fucking autistic.
Yeah. And you helped us out as well early on when we were starting out. I remember you giving me some tips. I understand
how the things work and how to work it.
But you've manipulated and used it to your advantage. So now you can, using the persona from Graff and from tattooing and from music and from all these things and all the people you know in that and the attention you've garnished from that, you can now use that to make money or to...
I've always been doing it. When I first got a smartphone and I started doing my thing out of the hotel, that I think this has all been covered in other interviews with me and things like that.
Okay, yeah.
And other people that were there see it. They see that I was trapping and I was tattooing and I'm living out of a travel lodge. That was what I was doing, and I was always trying to shop things. I was always shotting T-shirts, fucking whatever, tube maps, whatever.
And the internet,
tattoos was the main source of income.
Yeah.
But see, like my feelings have changed when it comes to tattooing. When I set my sights to something, I wanted to be what I wanted to be with tattooing. I didn't have no one bust me. I didn't have an apprenticeship. I didn't have any previous nothing. But undeniable, my run from 2016, but I was 100% the most popping tattoo artist in London. I developed my own style. I've done my own thing. No one bust me.
I've seen a lot of people emulating your style as well, man.
And also, like, the other thing about travelling, I was doing it from travel lodges. I'd go to Manchester, I'd go to Leeds, I'd go to Scotland. On my ones, one up, suitcase, full of tattoo gear, and I'd make racks.
Book people in online and just bosh, they turn up.
Do it. The same way. I had a little Nokia. I had a line. I treated it like what I knew. I built a line. I understood business from that aspect. And the other thing that I understand from building a line is if you serve people and see them as a person, remember something about them, get to know them or something, you make a connection with them, and you're open about what the trade is. Like, I need the money from you. I know that you want this thing, but I also want that thing. As long as that's clear and that's understood, you can respect it. When people start going, I'm sick, you can buy my thing if you want a couple bags. Whatever. Hold that, you little toy dickhead. What are we doing? Dickhead. I hate that. I understand that, like,
making that connection, it lasts, like, for those other
it's
people.
It's more valuable than the money.
Valuable than the money.
I'll tell you right now, any city in the world I pull up in, off of how I've been with my life, I bet that I can get us somewhere for 3 of us to sleep tonight. Now, if I just open my Instagram and go, yo, who... Nothing to do with, like... could someone who's like some mad famous rapper and he's been a dickhead for time, he's mad rude to everyone, could he do that?
Well, that's the thing.
I think I value the human.
To C, business to customer relations. Number one in economic school.
And what do they say? And what do they say? On your way up, if you're not nice to people on the way up, then on the way back down, which is inevitably.
Fuck you in the ass.
Yeah. I was gonna say also like, bruv, I've had my rise and fall, and I've had like.
How many followers did you have on Insta before you lost it?
Like 50 something.
50 something, yeah.
Like.
And what happened? Did it just Instagram shut you down?
Violating terms and conditions.
Oh,
like
right,
it was a time, I believe anyway. I don't know. It was a time when the AI, they was using like the language model to flag
words,
certain things. So the way that I had been using the app, saying like, I'm in Manchester this weekend, motherfuckers. Book in with me. Let's get it. And they would flag me as abusive language and harassment for saying motherfucker. And when you actually put it in like a language model, like the early stages of that at that time, that
came across as abusive or whatever.
So then eventually I done too many of them and lost access to it.
Yeah. And they just take it from you. And that's why I want to start an ArmsHouse website, because something that's not owned by fucking Meta or by where they can just shut you down. Even YouTube.
Get
say the
people's
wrong
phone
thing.
numbers. I got my WhatsApp.
Email list and shit.
Build direct to people.
That's what it's all about, man.
Do you know what I mean? Cut out the middleman and you can ask for more.
Yo, Big Trapy in the house. Thank you for joining us.
So Trap Wheezy.
Now, for real, thank you for joining us, man. Maybe we'll do a part 2 at some point, but much love, brother. You've always been supportive from the start, man. You know what I mean? So I just want to show some love. Big up yourselves.
I recognise what you lot do. I appreciate it.
Salute.
As well. It's done from the right place. You not really ask so much of people.
No.
But you could. Because, exactly.
ArmsHouse batters everything, that's it.
We do it for fun. We do it because we enjoy doing it. That's it. Not because we think we're better than you. Not because of whatever you think.
Anyone watching
That's part of ArmsHouse. They're part of ArmsHouse.
That's Trapy, man. But yo, much love. Send in your Graff Critique. Send in some voice note questions. What else do people? Send in local legends, man. What's like, okay, if you could name one person who doesn't get enough shine, who you want to big up, or maybe, I don't know, maybe you don't want to something.
Yeah, me.
All right, there we go.
I rate myself. But I think I've been quite clear. Like, I've been asked a lot about who I rate and things like that. But also, I rate anyone that does Graff.
Yeah.
Really.
It's just like, because we usually mention the same fucking names, because we grew up in West London, we know like the same, so we mention the same names. So some people are saying, we're sick of you mentioning the same. There's a whole world of Graff out there. Yeah. We got a lot of listeners from Australia, from Glasgow, from like all over the shop. So I was reaching out to people.
London's where it's at, though.
I mean, yo, you know,
everything
we're biased. Doesn't exist. That's what he usually says. But if there is a local legend where you're at right now who you'd think deserves a little bit of shine, send us in a little paragraph why you think they're a legend and a couple of photos, and we'll shine a light on them here in ArmsHouse.
Shine them off.
Shine into the future.
Peace, people. Laters. Oh yeah, what song we going out to?
This one.
Oh, shine. No, we got a song to go out to. We came in. The song we came into was Mount Airy Groove by Pieces of a Dream from 1982. One of my favorite tunes. It's a big tune. But anyway.
Let me hear it.
Listen, the song we're going out is Kool Rap My Life.
G and Khan the name, break it down simple and plain. We're from a small chimp in the game to Gorilla King, pimp in the game. Know how to tempt dames to tense in the range. Hit the block, the pitch box, the strength of the name. Limp with a cane, lactose and lymph in the cane. You even pack close, spin from the flames. My aim, strictly about making that bread pop. Blocks red hot from feds and cops. Looking for rock bottles with red tops. Trading lead shots with dreadlocks. Infrared dots till a head drop. We flesh spots. Word on the curb is when it came to birds, we spread flocks. No telling when the bloodshed stop. Glide to the sled stop, cop the latest. Every hot flavor in them Crocs and Gators. Somebody click, riff, pop. The bravest out of town trips and whips I got for Mavis. Drop knots in Vegas. My plot for paper was crock pots and wafers.
All of my life I live. I'll be thugging with you. Thug it out, baby. Thug it out, baby. Don't stop till I die for this. I'll be keeping it true.
Wall of war with hands and goons. Half-naked bitches dancing the tunes.
The oranges of Trappy West.
The oranges.
The origin.